So, sir, today I started doing this module, components and templates deep dive. So, basically, in this module, um, I'm learning more about how components are working, why should we divide the components, about property binding, and how we can create reusable components, and many other, important things about the Angular that I should have the knowledge of. So by doing this module, I will get more practice and more knowledge of how things works inside, how even small things works inside a component, and how we can use different functionalities as well. So this is our application, demo application. So here you can see that there are one, two, three, four, and five different things in this page. Okay, so this is the server status, and this is the traffic and support tickets. So these three have one main component, and inside that main component we will have three different child components inside it. So this is done to more to organize our components in a more structured way, so that if someone new is looking at our code base, so they will get the idea more clearly that what where is the code of which component, and they can find it easily. So this is navbar. For navbar, we will make another component. Okay, this is the header. So to make the component, we will just use the command nggc generate component. And suppose we want to generate a header component, and we will use this skip test at the last to skip the extra files that are made with the nggc command. So when I press enter, argument, I think, yeah, I have written the wrong. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, so only one. Now press enter, I can see my Angular site. Inside my app, I can see my header component also as well. So now I want to make a dashboard component with server status separate, traffic separate, and support ticket as a separate component. So for that, what we can do is dashboard slash server status, and then enter. Now let's see inside dashboard. We can see we are having server status as a separate component. Similarly, I will make the component for others. So just like that, I have divided uh, the application like this into different components, and added the code there. Okay, so this is the traffic component, which is this one. So now we have done splitting a component to multiple components. Now we are going to see how to create a reusable component.
So we did now break up this.
So for these dashboard items, I have created one reusable component, that is this dashboard item component. So I want to use this image and title, for example, to be reused in these other components as well. So we will use inputs for that. So there are two ways to um, provide inputs. First is this one, like we can define the input function, and then inside it we can set required as true, and then image, which should be like, which should not be undefined, so we have added exclamation mark here. And then this is our type, so it should be src of type string, and this is also type string, so we have defined the type here. Okay. And similarly we want to send title, reduce title as well. So here mark required as true, and then title, which should be of type string. Okay, this is one of the method that we use in GenQ as well. uh, and uh, and the other method is this, this method is available in Angular 17.1 after onwards. So this image equals to input dot required. So input should be defined here, it should be imported from Angular core, and this input as well. So input dot required means it is required, and then inside it, inside this arrows, we have defined the type in the curly brackets, and then this the function closing round brackets. Okay. Similarly title we have defined here. So this is how I have divided this dashboard item as a reusable component, and these are the inputs which will help to reuse these components, this component in other component as well. Okay, so now after uh, hmm, yeah, so now after these changes, like to use this image and title as a reusable properties in different components. So what we will do is, firstly we will go to the HTML file, and for the src we have to set it as a property binding, and the image should be like a function, because we are using this also as a function here, image and title as a function here. If we use this type of thing, then we can easily we can use this without the brackets. But since we are using it as a function, so here we have to define it as a function. So inside src property binding, okay, inside double quotes we are defining image function dot src and image function against dot alt. Okay. So these are the types: alt and src, image dot src, image dot string. Okay. Image dot a alt. And now similarly we have to use title as a function like this, and inside this double brackets, because this is how it will take the title as a string. It is the syntax. Okay, so this is done. Now to use this dashboard item as a component, we have to go to our app component HTML file, and we can see we can just add this app dashboard item. Okay. uh, in around our every other component where we want to use our this reusable components. Okay. So this is our first, it is server status, and then in traffic as well, and in tickets as well. Okay. And then inside it we are defining image as a property binding, and then inside it, in the curly braces. Okay. In the curly braces, and also uh, in inverted commas, we are defining the src and alt values, and then inside that we are setting up the values what we want to add there. Okay, so this we are like using this curly braces because we want to read src and alt as an what we can say, like as a property, like not as a string. We don't want to read src and alt as a string. They both are like different functionalities, okay, different properties. So we want to use that like that. And in title we are like mm, doing like normally in double inverted commas we are giving the title. Suppose if we give it as a like this double in the curly braces similar to this, the Angular will read it as as a function name, and then it will search for it inside its like TypeScript file. But it is not what we want, which is definitely wrong. So for that simply we will use title without the property binding and in simply inverted commas, and for the image we with the property binding inside double inverted commas and with curly braces. Okay, similarly in dashboard and in traffic component and ticket component we have added this common like function component. So this server status, traffic, support tickets, these are coming from that, and the images as well. So this is how we can set up a common component and using the input property as well as the property bindings. Okay, also one more very important thing, we are using here ng content, which is also known as content projection, which Angular uses to like display any wrapped content. So without this ng content, if I remove this ng content, if I comment this out and then save my application and then go, I can clearly see like the data is gone. Okay, it is not like without this ng content. Where is my file? Yeah, in my app component, Angular is, it is not reading this wrap content inside this common component that we are using. So for that we have to use inside this component only this ng content, which is also known as content projection. Now when I save it, you can see the data is back. So this is what is ng content or content projection is. So now I added two new components inside my tickets component, the new ticket and ticket, which is like this will create a new ticket and this will store the data of the ticket. Okay, so like it is how it is showing now. This is our submit button. So let's talk about the submit button because these two buttons are looking similar. So what we can do is we can make a common component here as well. Okay, so I have added a shared folder here, shared component folder here. Inside it we have our button component. So as you can see, like this is my HTML, nothing more is here. There is the ng content. In my TypeScript file you can see generally what we use as a selector, we use like these type of things as a selector, app dash traffic. Okay, but here inside this button what we have done is we have used this button, and then inside this a property binding type like square brackets, and inside this we have defined this app button here. Okay, why we have done that? Because if we use the normal way like this app traffic, similarly if we use app button here, app slash button here in the developer tools, when we right click on this logout button, when we can see like here only one component is there, that is button, and inside that uh, it is the buttons are binding. Okay, so attribute selectors, so it is like so suppose if we don't use like this type of functionality here for the built-in elements, and if we use normal selector here, uh, it will like it will work surely, but it will like create unnecessary uh, traffic here inside our, like when we right click and inspect and come. So to remove that traffic and unnecessary uh, objects, we can use this type of like bindings and options. But generally if we don't want to like if we don't want to like use, if we are not using any built-in component as a reusable component, definitely this is the most used way to use a component and reuse it as well. So yeah, now to learn more like this title and request, this can also become like a reusable component. So for that what we can do is, mm, we can make a new component, that is shared component name control. Inside that, firstly we are adding a label. Okay, which is like this, in double curly braces, inside that label as an input and a function. Okay, and yeah, here label equals to input dot required string, and yeah, so here ng content select equals to, here we are using like ng content and not like single like, because there can be different fields. So like inside request there is text area, and inside title there is something, there is also text area, there can be input as well. Okay, so for that we are using ng content, and inside that we can use two times, like we can use many um, attributes together and then reuse it. Okay, so now when we go to our new ticket component, you can see that inside my this I have added this label app control I have added, and inside it I have added label equals to title, which is not inside any property binding or anything, because we just want it as simple string. And then inside it we can see that I have added this input with name, id, hashtag, input, ng model, everything. And then here again app control with label request, which is for this. Inside it we have like a text area. So like this is how we can reuse components in and attributes as well. Like suppose here I have added input and text area, reused that as well, since I have added that twice in our control component. Okay, one more thing is here, like g yeah, So this is done now. So now we will look at the ways of like how classes are binded dynamically. So this is a class binding in CSS in square brackets, and inside this, suppose I want my status to be always true, and this status dash online, this is my CSS like property that I have added in CSS. It should be like its status should be online when the current status should be online only, and it will call this when current status should be offline, and it will call this when the current status is unknown. So after applying this, we can see that we will see that this blinking mm, blinking text is coming here, which is what we wanted. And then after some time, servers are offline, this text is coming. Okay, so how is this done? So I'm jumping into that. So to to manage the status here, servers are offline, online, or unknown, what we can do is we can just make this constant interval, and then we can what we can do is we can use set interval function, and inside that we can use this syntax, this is angular function, arrow function, and then here we have added a const rnd equals to math.random, which will give us a random value between 0 and 0.9999. So if the value is less than 0.5, which is in most of the case 50% of the cases, then it will set it as online, and if it is less than 0.9, then it will set as offline, and in the other else condition it will set as unknown. Okay, and then 5000 mm, is the interval time that is given. Okay, so this is how we are like changing the status here and the time to time. This is the time interval after which it is checking 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, after 5 seconds it is like checking and then updating. If the value is like less than 0.5 only 2-3 times, then it will be same. So now it is changed, so it is less than 0.9. After 5 seconds it is changed again. So this is how it is working. Now supposedly what we can do is this is our function which is changing the text time to time. Okay, mm, so for before that we were calling this in our constructor, but we should not do that. We should use like this ng on it callback method that is invoked immediately after the default change detector has checked the directives data bound property of the first time, and before any of the view or content children have been checked. It is invoked only once when the directory is instantiated. So what happens is when this component is called, okay, this ng on it function is also called along with it, and it contains all, it is always defined after constructor, and it contains all the inputs from the constructor. So we should keep our constructor clean, and it should have all the imports and inputs, and the ng on it function, ng on it, this ng on it will call the functions, and like the like it will help to make the application more smoother and less bulky. And also one more thing, like this current status we have defined it here like online, offline, unknown. So this is just like global settings only, a smaller range of global settings. Okay, and we are using this signal to bind that to this current status property one by one. Okay, and also one more thing, we have to use this implements on it to like make this ng on it work. If we remove this, it will not work properly, it will give the error. So this is the syntax that we have to follow. Okay, if you want to like run a smooth application. Okay, as you can see here, this is the like how the life cycle is implemented, like which one is implemented first and what happens after that. So first is the constructor is instantiated, then after that change detection is there, and after change detection we can see ng on changes, then ng on init, then ng do check, and then ng after view, and then ng after content in
is to see.
ng after content check, ng after view check, then rendering, then after render. Okay, so this is like the tree of the component life cycle. One more important life cycle component is like this on destroy, ng on destroy. We can use like after comma here also on destroy, but it will not work now because we are using a different method. So we have defined this private destroyer f equals to inject and then inside it destroyer f. So declare abstract class. Okay, so basically what does this ng on destroy do? This thing, what it do is like it clears the like this thing, it will clear this thing, because if it is not cleared, if the interval is not clear, then it will be in the memory. If we remove the component, it will still stay in the memory, which is not good for the memory of the system and the smooth functioning of the system. So that's why we have to use this ng destroy or on destroy to make the system work flawlessly and smoothly.